The right way to respond to an avoidant silence. Silence from an avoidant doesn't mean what you think it means. Most people interpret it as rejection, disinterest, or even punishment. But psychologically, it is often a defense mechanism, not an attack. Avoidants withdraw when emotions feel overwhelming or unsafe. And the more you chase them in that moment, the more they retreat. This is where most people unknowingly lose their power. When an avoidant goes silent, your instinct is to fix it immediately. You want clarity, reassurance, and emotional connection right now. So you text more, call more, and try harder to reach them. But to an avoidant, this feels like pressure, not love. It triggers their fear of losing independence and emotional control. And instead of coming closer, they shut down even deeper. The right response begins with understanding, not reacting. You have to realize that their silence is about regulation, not rejection. They are trying to calm their internal discomfort in the only way they know. And your job is not to interrupt that process with emotional urgency. Your job is to create space without losing your self-respect. This doesn't mean you accept disrespect or emotional neglect. It means you respond with calm detachment instead of anxiety. Instead of sending 10 messages, you send one clear and grounded message. Something like, "I'll give you space, but I'm here when you're ready to talk." This communicates strength, not neediness. It shows you respect yourself just as much as the connection. Then comes the hardest part, which is doing nothing. Not checking your phone every minute hoping for a reply. Not overthinking every possible reason for their silence. And not creating stories that damage your emotional state. Because the moment you spiral, you lose your center. Emotionally strong people don't chase silence. They observe it. They use that space to reconnect with themselves instead of losing control. They continue their routine, their work, and their self-care. Because their life doesn't pause just because someone went quiet. This is what shifts the dynamic without force. Avoidants are not used to this kind of response. They expect you to chase, react, or emotionally collapse. So when you stay grounded and composed, it creates curiosity. It disrupts the pattern they are familiar with. And ironically, it often makes them come back sooner. But here's the deeper truth most people don't realize. Your response to silence teaches people how to treat you. If you tolerate emotional inconsistency without boundaries, it continues. If you respond with calm strength and clarity, the dynamic changes. Because now, you are no longer operating from fear. When they eventually come back, don't reward the silence blindly. Don't act like nothing happened just to avoid conflict. This is your moment to set a quiet boundary. You can say, "I understand needing space, but communication matters to me." This keeps the door open while protecting your standards. Healthy connection requires both space and communication, not one at the cost of the other. And if someone repeatedly uses silence as a weapon, not a coping tool, then the real question becomes whether this dynamic serves you. Because love should not feel like emotional guessing games. The power move is not forcing them to talk. The power move is mastering how you respond to their silence. It's staying emotionally steady when things feel uncertain. It's choosing self-respect over emotional chasing. And it's understanding that your peace is not dependent on their behavior. In the end, silence only has power over you if you let it define you. But when you respond with calm, clarity, and boundaries, you shift from being controlled by the situation to controlling your response. And that is where real emotional power begins.